The roofing industry is broken, and we've got the fix. At Hire a Pro, we help homeowners do the same thing a roofer would do when it hails on their own house. Own the project, delegate the tasks, and keep the compensation. But you don't have to take my word for it. You could ask Chrissy. Chrissy, how'd it go?
It went great. You educated us on how everything worked, showed us behind the curtain, so to speak, and after our $25,000 roof was replaced, we walked away with almost $6,000 for the work we put in.
And what work was that?
We got the permit and we picked the color. Hire a Pro handled everything else. You did a great job, and I'm not even being paid to say that. If anyone's listening and has a storm damage claim, call them. Don't hire a roofer, hire a pro.
That's awesome. I appreciate the kind words, and I think you just made up our new motto. All right, Joe, you're up.
So if insurance has approved your roof replacement, give these guys a call at 651-402-3400 or visit them online at hirea.pro. That's hire, and then put the dot there, pro.
Hey, Garage Logic fans, Mishki here, slipping in ever so briefly to mention that I have a podcast that comes out every Wednesday and every Friday, twice a week now. The show is pretty much about everything you care about and are interested in and need in your life and want to know more about. I tailored the darn thing specifically to your liking. I tailored it to your loves, to your true passions. That took a long time. I'm spent. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely wasted.
Biologically, although they're both Muslim, and, sometimes you do marry your brother. But I don't think in this case, I think she referred to him as her ideological brother. And she decided to launch a profane fest. And among her remarks, we are going to transform this city, Chugtai said, adding, bleep Jacob Fry, only she didn't use the word bleep. She used the king mother of all words. Bleep fascism and bleep Donald Trump. And it was so noticeable that she behaved this way that even her council members were somewhat taken aback. Latricia Vito said, this is really lousy timing to behave like that because look what we just went through. And I think Latricia was referring to Melissa Hortman and Thompson, and
right.
And she was concerned that, what if there was somebody in the audience who
was stupid,
took those comments felt like they could cause the mayor and his family harm, Vito said, later pointing to the current tense political climate and says there is no room for comments like this. We are still hurt over what happened in Minnesota the last couple of months. I think that's her Hortman reference. And this Henry fellow, he went to the city council meeting yesterday, and he tried to question Chugtai about this and asked her if she stood by those profane comments. And, of course, she said she didn't have time to respond to him.
Very busy.
She's
a lot going on.
They're very busy. In a joint letter, council members Linnea Palmasano, Andrea Jenkins, and Michael Rainville said the outrageous remarks are an extraordinary breach of decorum, also writing that Chugtai owes an immediate apology to the mayor, to the council colleagues she has been trusted to lead, and to the Minneapolis residents who deserve better. Do you have the audio of this?
I do.
But we can't play it?
Unfortunately, my computer is not cooperating, so I cannot play anything from this computer right now.
Well, okay, that's fine. I watched it and I heard it, and it's all real. And so I did a little homework on Aisha Chughtai. She represents Ward 10. That's an area south of Franklin, between Franklin and Lake, and east of 35, for example. Part of Lake of the Isles, is that right, Kenny?
Well, the Whittier. Are you speaking of the Whittier or the whole Ward 10?
Well, she lives in Whittier, but she represents Ward 10, which is larger than the Whittier neighborhood.
Right. Let's go with Ward 10. The western boundary is Hennepin from downtown to Lagoon. Then it jumps over to Calhoun. Then at 36th Street, that's the southern border. Then it goes Lyndale, up to Lake, over to W, up to Franklin, over to Hennepin.
I can see where a great many residents in Ward 10 might share Chugtai's ideology, but I certainly can't see the majority of residents in Ward 10 sharing her
Well-
ideology. Her ideology is Marxist. I will get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
She believes that there's enough. That's one of her phrases. There's enough. Well, how are you supposed to interpret that? That means she believes there's enough money to take from the people who produce it and give it to the people she represents. And she has no background. She has no experience in anything. She's 27 years old. She's the daughter of Pakistani immigrants. She was raised in Houston, and then in 2008, how old would she have been in 2008? 15?
Yes.
I'm doing the
Pretty
math in my
close.
head. The family moved to Mankato. I have no explanation for why they moved to Mankato. She's a first. It's always important to be a first. She's the first Muslim woman elected to the council. She was elected. She assumed office in January of 2024. As I said, her parents are immigrants from Pakistan. Her father worked as a mechanic, and her mom is a Quranic instructor, meaning she taught the Quran, apparently. And Aisha grew up in Houston, and they experienced housing instability, and that's when they moved to Mankato. She has no background working, and I don't know what her educational background is. Her background is numerous political campaigns, including campaign manager of Ilhan Omar's 2018 campaign. And she's also worked as a political organizer for SEIU, which is that Service and Employees Union.
Correct.
She announced her candidacy in 2021 for retiring Council President Lisa Bender's Ward 10 seat. Her campaign focused on expanding affordable housing and strengthening local labor laws. That she calls herself a DFL-er. She's not. She's a DSA. The DFL did not issue an endorsement in her ward, as no
That's right. I remember
as no
that.
candidate achieved the necessary vote threshold. She was endorsed by the abortion rights organization, Vote Pro-Choice. She won an instant runoff election on November 3 with 50.3% of the vote to her narrowest challenger, 33.6%. She took office in 2022, and she's a number of firsts. The first Asian American, Muslim woman, youngest member of the council. She took an oath of office on the Quran, also used by Ilhan Omar, Keith Ellison, Omar Fateh, and numerous other Muslim officials elected in Minneapolis. In November of 2023, she was reelected to a second term with 60.7% of the first round vote. So this is who they want. She was appointed council vice president alongside council president Elliot Payne. Under personal life, there's virtually nothing. She's a renter who lives in the Whittier neighborhood and is a member of the Twin Cities Democratic Socialist of America. She advocates for community control over the police. Okay, I mention all this to try to understand why a woman of her stature, a city council member, vice president of the city council, would engage in such lack of decorum, such incivility. And I can only believe, and I these are my instincts, she only believes in her ideology. She has nothing else that she might believe in. She's never experienced working or hiring or firing or competitiveness. She's been in this activist mode since day one, it sounds like, and she has nothing to offer except her ideology. And I have more on that. Where did I put it?
Well, you look for it. I think it's interesting that she
I have
uses
it,
that
yeah.
language, and her mother is a teacher in the Quran. And there's a debate. I've been looking it up. There's debate on whether or not that is considered vulgar if you're a Muslim.
From her website, we capture the phrase. She says, a Minneapolis that invests in us, where everyone has what they need to thrive. And you can you can parse that any way you want. I know how I'm parsing it. She writes, when I moved to Ward 10 nearly a decade ago, the first thing I noticed was that our neighbors shared my belief that our communities are strongest when everyone has what they need. Okay. That's why I chose to make the community my home, and that's why our community chose me to represent us at City Hall. I've spent my whole life fighting against the people and systems determined to hold the working class people back. Well, first of all, your whole life isn't very long. You're a very young woman, and you have no experience with working. It's quite a reach for you. Growing up, it was made clear to me that people in power had no interest in families like mine. I would not necessarily find that true. They told us to speak quietly, worship away from public view, and sit passively in the back, because that is this system. And the people who prop it up believe that, because that is where this system and the people who prop it up believe we belong. Okay. The time for passivity, the time for status quo, the time where we were silenced is over. So it seems to me that it's not unreasonable for me, having studied the mystery as I have over the years, to conclude that she's a hellraiser bent on the destruction of what we know. She's not a fan of capitalism. That becomes very clear. She said she's running for re-election this fall because while we achieve historic wins together, we still have much more to accomplish. Yeah, they haven't ruined it yet. And then she includes, she's among the politicians, the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings, who believe that it is their responsibility to attack Trump. No, it's her responsibility for potholes and streetlights and snow shoveling. Sure that's not what she's interested in. That's not what the DSA is interested in. In Donald Trump's America, the federal government is moving in the wrong direction. That leaves it up to local governments to move us forward. Unfortunately, as frightening as Trump's administration is, we have our own cynics and detractors right here in our city. That would be me, Aisha. They've recruited an opponent funded by Ward 10's landlords, developers, and their proxies to run against me because they want a council member who works for them, and I've always worked for you. Because she's working for you. When she says working for you, she means she's trying to tear down the people who have the power. Because she's trying to tear down the employers, the entrepreneurs, the people who provide jobs.
I wish there was a percentage, a statistic that said what percentage she is working for and what percentage she is not working for.
Boy, you made a really strong point there. She's tearing down the people who provide jobs. And is she offering an alternative?
Her alternative is her ideology, which is meaningless. Her ideology is the mystery.
That's not going to pay the mortgage or the rent.
But that's all she's loyal to. She's loyal to her ideology. That's why I remain committed to solutions delivered in partnership with you. Well, she has no solutions.
That's utter nonsense.
Right.
It's just she's spewing words. Yeah. She's just speaking words.
I feel more clear than ever that our opposition is threatened by the power we have built together.
What does that mean?
No, I do feel threatened. I feel threatened that the Mysterians will have their way.
But they're not offering any solution. How are you going to create jobs? How are you going to keep people employed and paying rent and being able to afford daycare and groceries and on and on and on?
Not what she's worried about. The ideology will provide because she'll take from those who have it and give it to those in need. Well, that's where we're at the brick wall of their ideology. That's where it stops.
Yeah. I could just as well be asking a brick wall. Because everything she says is just utter nonsense.
And we can also deduce from her remarks at this music festival, if she's going to say bleep Trump, bleep fascism, and bleep Fry, in her mind, because Fry's not on board with the DSA ideology, he's as bad as Trump in her mind.
Well, there's one thing you're passing over that's, to me, the most disturbing. I'm at the Uptown, say if I was at the Uptown Music Festival, and I've got my kid standing there who's 8 years old or whatever, and she starts in with the F-bombs.
She doesn't care.
How,
She doesn't care.
What has happened to us as a society where a politician can go on stage and scream the F-bomb to just randos, just the populace?
Well, welcome to the decline of moral and ethical clarity.
Yeah.
We have none.
No,
And-
I think we're at the acme. We're at the pinnacle.
And we're represented by people like this. And this people has no interest. She has no interest in me. Zero. She has no interest in you. She has no interest in your neighbor. If you work and have a family and own a home, she has zero interest in you. That's not what her ideology commands of her. And she has nothing except her ideology. She has no life experience, no work experience. This is who we've elected. And she's not alone. There's more DSA candidates on the council. And to the DSA candidates, Fry might as well be a rock-ribbed Republican.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Did you happen to read his, while I was searching the mayor's statement?
Yeah, I have it here, and I'd like to read it.
It's very generic and polite, and he took the high road here.
Yeah?
It would have been a good opportunity for him to put her in her place, but he swing and a miss, if you ask me.
Fry's statement on her behavior at the music festival. The mayor, this is from a spokesperson for the mayor. The mayor didn't even give his own statement. He told the spokesperson what to say, or else the spokesperson wrote it. The mayor believes in collaboration and the importance of setting aside politics to find common ground. Unfortunately, it's clear that the city council majority does not share those same values. The mayor remains focused on working together to deliver for the people of Minneapolis. That's the statement. This was another chance for Fry to develop a set of testicles and come out strongly against this immature woman who has zero
Her whole life.
Zero intellect to offer the people of Minneapolis.
I'm
Zero.
not classy enough to take the high road. I would have fired right back without any F-bombs, but I would have fired right back.
Well, he could have easily fired back without F-bombs and say, ladies and gentlemen of Minneapolis, is this the future you want to face? We keep electing inexperienced people who have nothing to offer you except their desire to strip you of your money.
Jesus, that's beautiful.
Just strip
My
you of
goodness.
strip you of your home, strip you of your money, tax you to tax you into oblivion, reduce you to nothing. She has nothing to offer. Nothing.
You should be a ghostwriter for him.
I don't think they want me.
Well, you might get him elected.
This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to be represented by a fool like this.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. And there are council people, Rainville, Vitaw, who have retained some sanity.
Yeah, Jenkins,
Andrea
Linnea.
Jenkins, Palmisano, they've retained some sanity. But here's another opportunity for the DFL to distinguish itself from the DSA. Are they taking it? Is the DFL standing up and saying she is not a DFLer? She does not represent the DFL. She is not us.
Her fellow council members need to say that. This condemnation isn't strong enough.
She holds even the mayor in contempt, and he's about as much of a liberal snowflake as you can find. And she holds him in contempt because he's not thoroughly enough embracing the ideology of destruction that she brings to the table. I defy anyone to point out to me how I'm wrong. What else is she bringing to the table? Ruination of the city.
She just gives, like you said, the ideology. She doesn't give us any answers. How are you going to keep people employed? What are you going to do for this town, for these people?
I
mean,
want to
even-
talk about. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Even go to the people who are having a damn hard time paying rent, working 3 jobs. Do something for them at the very least, but all you're doing is spewing nonsense.
I want to talk about how Minnesota used to be when we come back. But I want to tell you about Bradshaw and Bryant. They're personal injury attorneys, and they step in when you might have a problem with your insurance company if you're in an accident. Those insurance companies and adjusters can be difficult to deal with. You need a team, and Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant and his team are there to explain your rights, represent you, get you through a tough time. Mike is a big shot. He's been a super lawyer. He's been named among Minnesota's top personal injury lawyers by Minnesota Law and Politics. That's the Bible. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Your case evaluation does not cost you anything, of course. And don't be a part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Well, not only did I use the Seafoam Spray top engine cleaner over the weekend working on an old carb, a Walbro. You ever heard of that?
Nope.
It's been sitting on the shelf forever. Anyway, and I'm not sure I should admit this, but yesterday I used it for something that definitely wasn't made for. I probably shouldn't say this, but I used it to defend myself and the propane guys from the local co-op from wasps. They were coming at us, bro, and we had to do something.
They charged us.
And it actually worked. So, I mean, you know, if you don't have any of that killer stuff around, you know what I'm saying? You use what you have to use. Anyway, I've been calling this, traditionally I've been calling it, referring to it as a carb cleaner, but it really isn't. It does work good for that, cleaning the ports and passageways, etc., but it also cleans and lubricates critical upper engine areas where the fuel cleaners can't reach it. Now, this isn't a gas tank additive. You use Seafoam Spray. It works through the engine's upper air intake. So if you're a car guy, you should definitely have a couple of cans of this in your chemical cabinet. It dissolves harmful deposits and residue buildup from intake runners, valves, combustion chambers, places like that. It's going to help your engine run cleaner and last longer. And by all, you know, use it to clean a carb. If you've got a carb on the bench, it works great. But normally you spray it right through the throttle body or into the carburetor yap. Works great. And it's just another Seafoam product that you really should keep around if you do any kind of light or heavy-duty maintenance around your place. Another fine product from our friends at Seafoam.
You know, Chugtai telegraphs a little bit of what she must really believe in her own words from her campaign literature when she says, I've spent my whole life fighting against the people and systems determined to hold me back, basically, is what she's saying. Families like mine. So from a very early age, that's what she must have heard from her parents at the kitchen table.
I want her to define that, Joe. Mm-hmm. You've done that. Tell me how you've done that, and tell me about the successes. And like you always say, success cannot be measured.
And I think she grew to hold America in contempt. She believes that she believes she was supposed to have spoken quietly and worshipped away from public view and sit passively in the back. I don't buy any of that. Chugtai could walk into a meeting today and sit anywhere she wants, couldn't she? I mean, I don't care where she sits. What is this nonsense? Because that's where this system, and the people who prop it up believe we belong. So she believes that the man, whoever the man is, the man has held her back, and she's out to destroy the man. All right? Who's she running against?
She's running against Lydia Millard. Lydia Millard is Let's Move Forward Together. a renter, again, pro-union, pro-choice Democrat, second-generation African-American resident, raised in Minneapolis. Today as executive director of the Stevens Square Community Organization, board member of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts Association, and board chair for the Partnership and Property Commercial Land Trust. I use these experiences to navigate local government, support small businesses, and elevate community voices. Last sentence. I'm running for city council because Ward 10 deserves practical solutions, accountable leadership, and a vibrant, safe community for all.
Well, and in Chugtai's words, her own words, they've recruited an opponent whose name is what? You just read it.
Lydia
to me.
Millard.
They've recruited an opponent, and I'll insert her name, Lydia Millard, funded by Ward 10's landlords, developers, and their proxies to run against me because they don't want a council member who works for them. Yeah, you know what? Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do.
Right.
And I've always worked for you, she said. So her distinction would be, far be it for me to ever represent someone who has actually contributed to the commerce of this city. I'm here to hold them in contempt on your behalf. I don't want you to hold them in contempt on my behalf. I think Ward 10 would be very smart to get rid of this woman and vote for Lydia who?
Lydia Millard.
Millard. I don't know a thing about her, but she isn't Chugtai.
Right.
But again, it sounds like she's never really.
No, it sounds like she's Minneapolis born and she's got a lot of fingers in the Minneapolis pie.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
4 years ago, though, we would have accused her of not having a normal job. Not, the whole thing.
Well, I'm still
now
taking her over Chugtai.
But no, you're right. Now she is the favorable candidate.
Yesterday on This Day in History, we had the balloon launch that sent a fellow named Simmons into he was launched from Crosby, Minnesota in 1957 on yesterday, August 19th. It was This Day in History.
I thought he landed yesterday.
Chris,
Sorry.
behave yourself.
Well, he either launched or landed.
Or 50-50.
I'm sorry.
On August 19th, 1957, Major David Simmons lifted off from an Iron Range pad, soaring past 99% of the Earth's atmosphere and eventually cresting at 101,516 feet up. That's 19 miles up. No human had ever been that high. So high, Brainerd Dispatch reporter Renee Richards wrote that Simmons, an Air Force medical doctor, could see that the stars did not twinkle at that altitude. They produced a steady light in the color that indicated their age: white, blue, orange, yellow, and red. Simmons said, it was like I could see the stars for the first time in Technicolor. This is a David Brower piece he wrote for MinnPost in 2010 because Simmons died in 2010 in Covington, Georgia at age 87. He didn't reach space. That's another 12 to 43 miles up, depending how you calculate it. And because he didn't use a rocket. He was launched in that balloon.
It's a weather balloon. It looks like a weather balloon.
Yeah. It was the Man-High 2 balloon in the Portsmouth Mine, Cuyuna Country. As part of I was getting to this yesterday. It was a top secret Air Force
Very hush-hush.
program. Simmons was attached to a gigantic helium balloon that was 200 feet across with a volume of 3 million cubic feet. It's one reason the launch took place in Crosby, or rather below it. The balloon needed protection from surface winds that could smash it against the ground, so it was placed 40 stories deep in the Portsmouth mine.
Wow.
Though Simmons could not be called an astronaut, his 32-hour voyage was massively significant for spaceflight, and the Minnesota connections were more than coincidental. He made the cover of Life magazine, by the way, for this. The pressurized aluminum gondola presaged the Mercury and Gemini capsules and was built by Winsen Research of Minneapolis. Chugtai had probably tried to put them out of business. according to author Connie Peterson. In fact, on launch day, Simmons, wearing a pressurized suit and helmet that would soon become familiar to generations of Americans, was installed in a telephone booth-sized capsule in the Twin Cities and trucked to the mine.
Let's pause to get John Heidt's reaction to that.
John would have trouble with that.
Nope.
Like his Astro descendants, Simmons conducted at least 25 experiments. The New York Times noted that the Aero medical doctor had launched monkeys, mice, and guinea pigs to test weightlessness and radiation effects on his own flight. Photographed track plates he attached to his arms and chest confirmed cosmic radiation. As importantly, Simmons' journey led to what we later referred to as mission control, where geeks on the ground took control and made Mercury pilots feel like spam in a can. Here's how that happened. Simmons' capsule rose to its record-breaking heights during the daytime when the sun heated the balloon. However, at night it dropped 30,000 feet in the midst of a thunderstorm. Whoa. Turbulence tossed the capsule around, lowering it further and into colder air than anticipated. The balloon was extremely brittle. Simmons also feared a deadly lightning strike in his metal capsule. He tossed everything he could spare over the side to reduce weight, including extra batteries. I'm looking at a diagram of him in this capsule.
Oh. Cool.
Let's see.
How do you can't even move in that thing.
It looks like a big R2-D2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Nice reference.
By morning, the crew noted Simmons was slurring his speech. Carbon dioxide levels had risen dangerously high. He was ordered to breathe pure oxygen from his helmet and descend immediately. In Simmons' severely impaired judgment, he never noticed an emergency. The ground crew guided Simmons into a field in South Dakota just across the line from Minnesota. He had survived without any physical problems. After the in-flight experience, Man-High 2 was reevaluated. It was decided that pilots should not be given complete control. A panel of experts would be the brains to make critical decisions and minimize errors during the exhilaration of flight. In a New York Times obituary, reporter William Grimes notes just how alien Man-High's technology was to Americans of that time. All taking place here in Minnesota. We did stuff. Stuff got done.
That's cool.
Top secret stuff.
When Dr. Simmons touched down after his historic flight, a farmer and his son raced across their field on horseback to greet him. "Hello, how are you?" he said to the farmer, removing his space helmet. The boy, ignoring the aluminum space capsule at his feet, pointed to an approaching Air Force helicopter and said, "I've always wanted to see one of them."
On account of you wanted to why?
Kind of why you know
And
why?
there ain't no flags.
The top secret flight didn't stay that way for long. Simmons made the cover of the September 2nd, 1957 Life magazine, which ran his first-person account. In his later years, he was a Veterans Administration researcher and expert on painful neuromuscular knots. Simmons' flight was supposed to be the last of 2 Man-High journeys, but 5 weeks after he landed, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik. I remember my old man taking us outside, pointing to the sky and saying, "They got something up
That
there."
tin can up there?
A year later, on October 1, 1958, NASA was born, and 7 days later, Man-High 3 took off. It was not as successful as Simmons' flight. Peterson notes the new agency forgot to include cooling dry ice in the capsule, which the sun quickly overheated, and pilot Clifton McClure just missed topping 100,000 feet. Simmons held the human altitude record for 3 years until Joseph Kittinger, whom Simmons supervised on Man-High 1, parachuted from a balloon over New Mexico at 102,800 feet. We were really determined, weren't we, to get up there?
Yeah, what's
To
up there?
set the stage for everything.
Yeah.
But actually, it started with this guy in the late 40s. He was involved in experiments that used captured V-2 rockets to launch monkeys into space. So it was his whole life.
Yuri Gagarin, the Russian, consigned Simmons to the memory hole with his first manned space flight in 1961, achieving an apogee of 203 miles high. Yuri Gagarin.
I don't like monkeys.
Now back to where he was loaded into.
Or he was squeezed, pressed into.
At 11 p.m. One August night in 1957, Dr. Simmons climbed into a small capsule on a flatbed truck at Winsen Research, Inc. in South St. Paul. Jimmy Francis has got to have he's got to have Simmons days.
He knows about it already.
Okay, the capsule was on a flatbed truck at Winsen Research, Inc. in South St. Paul. The Winsen plant made the 200-foot wide balloon for the adventure. The truck then proceeded the 140 miles north to Crosby. The truck carrying the capsule arrived at Portsmouth Mine at 5:10 a.m. At 9:22 a.m., Otto Winsen yelled, "Let her go," and Manhai 2 began its flight. Now think of that. To get from South St. Paul to Crosby in 1957, there were no 4-lane highways. That must have been
61.
Well, no, you would have gone... 10 and 169 existed,
Okay.
but certainly not to the freedom of speed they offer today.
Right.
Dr. Simmons was in the capsule for a total of 44 hours. Okay, and he collected effects on the human body, which were later used by NASA. He was the first person to see the curvature of the Earth. He found the sunset and sunrise particularly moving. He also realized, here it is again, he also realized the stars were not twinkling due to lack of atmosphere. He saw them in colors. That is so cool. Area residents took note of the balloon, but most had no idea of the significance of the event. They thought it was just another weather balloon being launched. And... that's what we used to do in Minnesota.
Are your stars in color? Yeah, I got 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did you ask me? Black.
He's married 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a large mural of him in Crosby.
Really, John?
Yeah,
Where?
It's outside of a building on the Spalding
Why
building.
not in
whatever
South
that
St.
is.
Paul?
Well,
Where it
I was
all
just
began.
through Crosby 2 weeks ago. I didn't see no mural, John.
Downtown Crosby honors Project Manhai, Minnesota, blah, 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 blah. Photo from 2020 I'm looking at, right on the side of the Spalding Company, established 1910.
Maybe you blinked and missed it, Kenny, when you're going through downtown.
It's huge.
Crosby.
I mean, the
I
mural
was too busy looking at the pretty people walking up and down the sidewalks.
There's also a museum in Crosby that has a replica of the actual craft.
That's
Oh,
right.
cool.
Kelsey sent me a piece from something.
How are you going to
called-
react, Joe, if they tell you to crawl in that thing while it's on a flatbed in South St. Paul? And yeah, it's going to be a 3-4 hour drive up to Crosby. Just get in and relax.
And all you can smell is the stockyards from South St. Paul.
I'm
all the way
looking.
up there.
I'm looking at a full view of the replica capsule, which John, you say is in Crosby.
Yeah, in a museum.
All right, and it looks like a giant pressure cooker.
Yep.
Yeah, R2D2.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. That's when this state was known for something besides fraud. Here it is, John. A mural in downtown Crosby honors Project Manhai.
John
there
was
it
a
is.
lion.
Yep.
Really cool. Wow. A replica capsule and exhibit at the Sioux Line Depot Museum in Crosby tells this story. The museum defines Project Manhai as the first manned space flight. But technically, I guess, they won't call the guy an astronaut because he didn't crack the barrier. He was 35 at the time, an astronaut, scientist, and medical doctor. And he proved that man could survive on the edge of space, well, at least for those 32 hours. The mission was kept intentionally secretive given the time period, because that's when the commies were getting ready to launch Sputnik, and the space race was on. That Minnesota played an important role in the U.S. to win that race is significant. And of all places, this happened in an iron mine pit outside a small mining community on the Cuyuna Range. Wow. I think that's fantastic. He landed in a flax field near the North Dakota-South Dakota border, and we now know a kid raced over to see the helicopter.
Right. You've never seen none of them before.
Never mind the guy in the spacesuit.
Yeah,
in
right.
this funny-looking
Going, "Hey,
capsule in this weird balloon.
Simmons was met by a rancher and a young boy on horseback. The boy showed more interest in an arriving helicopter than the capsule.
Yeah.
Well, he'd never seen a helicopter.
Well, had he ever seen R2-D2 come falling out of the sky?
Buck
attached to
Rogers
him?
gets out.
Yeah.
The actual capsule is displayed at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. So the one in Crosby is a likeness, but life-size.
Mm.
He was sealed in well before arriving at the iron mine pit from South St. Paul. Claustrophobia got the best of another candidate.
So he was number 2?
So John Heidt was the first candidate. He was kicked out.
Yeah.
Let me out. Let me out.
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Hold it over. Let me out.
We're not even out of Concord Street yet.
He endured lack of sleep, extreme temperatures, uncertain weather, and the very real fear that he could die if the thin helium balloon developed even a crack. This is so nifty. I can't believe it. Take that, Jeff Bezos. This guy beat you to the punch. The people behind the 1957 flight truly represent pioneering in space. They blazed the trail for men to land on the moon and for civilians like Bezos to take it on.
Let's not forget about the monkeys.
This guy was an
the
early guy
monkeys
to
were up
send
there
up
first.
monkeys.
When they send up monkeys, do they suit them up? Do they go in full? You know, I see them kind of sitting in the chair.
They put
but their-
diapers on them.
All their tails are still going up and down. So they don't cover their tails. Yeah, right.
Say, until I'm told otherwise,
There
and
we
I
go.
have not been. You get to EcoFund Motorsports in Forest Lake. It's on 97, just immediately west of the interstate. And buy a Yamaha jet ski or wave runner, and you're getting a free Triton aluminum trailer in the deal. No extra cost, no catch, just the trailer you need to haul that baby to wherever the lake is that you're heading. And they have great financing flexibility. If you need financing, they've got you covered with options available on all units currently in stock. Stop by, take a look, and maybe even leave with the personal watercraft you've been thinking about. And while you're there, note that you are also in the electric bike capital of the world, the youth recreational equipment capital of the world. Great motorcycles, youth recreational scooters, and little Jeeps and fire trucks and stuff, all gas-powered, really cool. Side-by-sides, 4x4s, helmets, apparel, service department. It's the most fun store you'll ever enter. EcoFund Motorsports, also in Burnsville on the service road of life near County Road 42, and in Forest Lake / Columbus on Highway 97, just west of 35. You got to go through a few of those tornado-causing roundabouts, and there you are, right there. EcoFundMotorsports.com.
Truth, justice, and the Souchere.
Anyway, storage.com, they, if you need secure storage, boy, they're the ones you go to. They're the go-to guys in GL. They offer a variety of shipping containers, both for sale and for rent. By the way, you don't have to use them exclusively for storage. You can make it an office, a little cabin, whatever you want to do. I received a note from Drew, the owner. I've been mentioning you can buy them or you can rent them. You can also rent to own. They offer a dandy program to do that. And with the rentals, they're the one, my imagination is bug out. Off the grid, that's where my imagination goes. But obviously, we've seen these things at construction sites all over. They're wonderful there. Schools use them, hotels use them. If a disaster rolls through, it's a perfect place to store your goods while you rebuild. There's just so many possibilities, and you don't have to stop by. And by stopping by, I mean they have locations all over Minnesota, Grand Rapids, Stewartville, Ellendale, but you don't have to stop by and pick one out if you prefer not to. Just do everything over the phone. It's really, really simple to get yourself a storage container from AnywayStorage.com. They come in 10, 20, and 40-foot containers, sealed, lockable, and perfect for anybody that needs storage. And by the way, they do offer modifications. So if you want roll-up doors, shelves, service doors, windows, whatever you need, they can do it. And be sure to ask about the GL special when you make the deal. They'll drop it off at the place of your choosing. Check out the website and then order your shipping container today, AnywayStorage.com.
Just before we get to John, public service announcement. How old are you today if you were 20 years old in 1957?
You'd be 88.
No. Oh, no, you'd
88.
be...
You were born in
68.
37.
88 because 57, I'm 68.
You'd be
so
88.
20 years
88.
more, he said.
Oh,
If you're
right.
20 years old in
Joe, why would
57,
you
were
ask
born in
us this?
37.
And I'll tell you why, I'll tell you why.
I don't know why.
You're right,
Because
John, I'm sorry.
I would love to hear from somebody in the Crosby area who was there. You'd only be 88 years old, right? If you were 20.
If you were 20, yeah.
If you're 15, you'd have been younger.
So just to clarify, you only want to hear from somebody that was 20 years old in Crosby.
No, I just said any
Maybe they were 10. Is that okay?
10, 15.
15.
What about...
It'd be fun to hear from
limited.
somebody from Crosby
yeah.
who
Experienced the
had
event.
wind of this.
Yeah.
Who's our guy in Aiken, Bill?
Yeah, Bill Stein. But he's a St. Paul kid.
Oh, okay.
He went up to Aiken to become the king of all dental practices.
And Bob's almost 88, but he was Winona.
He was in Winona. He's not
Right.
going to be of any help.
No.
Here's John Heidt in his newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. And one of those strange coincidences that happens sometimes, we were talking about monkeys in space, right?
Yeah, I love that concept.
The name of the band when Chugtai grabbed the microphone and started talking,
Yeah.
Space Monkey Mafia.
Come on.
Isn't that a weird
Yeah.
coincidence?
They didn't look that good. I saw them on the film, and they looked a little,
What's their genre?
Well, Joe,
well, are they getting good, John?
I don't know them at all.
I think my son played at that festival over the weekend in his band.
Oh,
He had 2 gigs on that day.
Space Monkey Mafia.
Did he make any political statements or anything like that?
Yeah,
Maybe
They
they're
grabbed the
great.
mic.
Maybe
No.
they've released number 1 albums. I don't know.
I don't know. Number one doesn't mean you're great. Okay, let's not talk music anymore. Go back to the news. A possible breakthrough in a string of car break-ins in Minneapolis. Minneapolis police arrested 3 teenagers yesterday who authorities suspect could be connected to the most recent car break-in spree that left more than 100 vehicles with smashed windows. About 9 o'clock yesterday morning, a stolen white Kia Sorento was spotted in North Minneapolis, which was the same vehicle that Brooklyn Park police had pursued a few hours earlier in connection with the break-ins. The vehicle was tracked, and officers arrested 3 suspects who have been booked for auto theft. Investigators still working to figure out their exact connection to the string of car break-ins. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara noted that all 3 juveniles have been arrested before, and 2 of them are, in his words, very well known to the police department.
I'm stunned.
Law enforcement added another stolen vehicle believed to be involved in some of the damage was recovered yesterday. In total, the chief said that in the last month and a half, over 500 vehicles have been damaged in Minneapolis. 36 community service officers were assigned to spend yesterday in the neighborhoods that were affected to gather evidence, speak with residents, and help victims complete police reports. Police departments in multiple other cities like Edina and Golden Valley also said they responded to several car break-ins over the past couple of weeks.
Let me say something. It was quite telling about who the Minneapolis voter is. A woman was interviewed regarding this story last night,
Yes.
and she said, well, they probably won't go to jail, although I don't think jail would help. But she,
Yes.
and then she proceeded, as a euphorian would, to make no sense at all, because she said, well, but something has to be done.
That clip, by the way, went viral, meaning it was picked up by, this is exactly why Minneapolis is an S-hole.
This is why you got Chugtai.
Right.
For all I know, this was in Ward 10. But my point is, she was
She was trying to be very careful.
She didn't want to say she thinks kids should go to jail. The hell they shouldn't.
Right.
Go to jail. But she couldn't bring herself to say that. Something has happened to us.
Or keep them in jail.
Something has happened to us. And it ain't good. In 1957, kids wouldn't have done this. They would have been searching the sky for helicopters.
Right. By the way, I know you were wondering. Space Monkey Mafia is a Minneapolis-based band known for their energetic, horn-driven rock.
Wonderful.
Often described as a blend of ska and punk with contemporary influences.
Cool.
I bet they're actually pretty cool.
I bet they're fun.
I want to listen to that.
Ramsey County Sheriff's Office is asking the public to be on the lookout for a third suspect wanted in connection with that series of gas station robberies over the weekend. 21-year-old Dylan Charles Youngworth is believed to have been involved in 2 robberies in Roseville and 1 in Little Canada on Sunday. According to the Sheriff's Office, Youngworth used a handgun to demand cash and cigarettes at various gas stations. During one of the robberies, Youngworth reportedly pressed the gun to the back of a clerk's head, and along with 2 other suspects, physically assaulted a worker during another robbery in Roseville. Youngworth, described as 5 foot 9 inches tall, weighing 145 pounds. Sheriff's Office said that while he lives in an apartment in White Bear Lake, he could be anywhere. The 2 other suspects were identified as 21-year-old Kenneth Spite and 18-year-old Kamoni Hurd. They have been arrested. Youngworth is wanted on 4 felony aggravated robbery charges. Anyone who sees him or has info on his whereabouts is asked to call 911.
Can we go back to the broken car windows for just a moment?
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm being naive or not. Apparently, certain neighborhoods have been hit more than once. Wouldn't it be wise for the neighbors to all get together and plot out a shift of service and all take turns sitting on the porch at night until a certain time, and then it was Fred Jones's turn
In a
across the
second,
street
I
to
would.
do it? Why? And scare the hell out of these creeps.
But
I
isn't
suppose
it
it's
sad-
against the law to fire a shotgun into the air.
Well,
as
Kenny, isn't that essentially what you guys had to do during the George Floyd
That's
weekend?
exactly what we did.
Yeah.
We had people in the alley, people in the corners, people mid-street. Yeah.
Why sit there and go to bed and hope for the best? Why not be proactive?
Maybe, do you think people may be already doing that? And maybe those are the ones
Well,
that
it
aren't
ain't
getting
working.
Well,
We don't know. We
but
don't
I guess,
know. I think we would have heard that if there are people doing that.
True.
I know we'd do it. I know where I live, we'd do it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do that anyway, but just to spy on each other.
Right, right.
That old man Souchere fell down in the driveway again.
Well, not
He
anymore.
got new shoes.
I'm wearing new socks.
I got new shoes.
Minnesota state lawmakers joined the race for the governor's office. Representative Kristen Robbins, a Republican from Maple Grove, officially announcing her gubernatorial campaign today, becoming the 3rd well-known Republican to join the race. Scott Jensen and Kendall Qualls have already announced plans to run for the office again in 2026, and Philip Parrish and Brad Kohler are also seeking the Republican nod. Governor Tim Walz, Democrat, has not yet revealed if he will seek a 3rd term. He's expected to make an announcement in the near future. Robbins has served in the Minnesota House of Representatives since 2019, currently is on the Taxes, Higher Education, Finance and Policy, Ways and Means, and Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committees, chairing the latter one and serving as vice chair of Ways and Means. Unsurprisingly, given the state of Minnesota government, she's making fraud a central part of her campaign. The 4th-term lawmaker says she's committed to stopping the fraud, restoring fiscal responsibility, and bringing back common-sense leadership. The state works for Minnesotans, not against them. In addition to fraud, Robbins' campaign website lists lowering taxes, improving schools, and better supporting law enforcement as top priorities.
And reading about her, she's right out of GL. However,
I love her. I love Scott Jensen. I love Kendall Qualls. All of them are not Walls.
but isn't it late in the game to be joining the race?
No.
It's August 20th.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
What question do you suppose she'll be asked the most?
What are you going to do about fraud?
And what are you going to do about Trump?
No.
And believe it or not, she brought him up and said she has a proven track record of winning, and said she outperformed him, his margin of victory, in her district last year. I don't even know, what does that mean?
I think a woman might be the answer to go after fraud. Because when a woman gets angry,
Well, it's
She's going to get some answers.
look out.
Yeah.
her
There
and
you
the
go.
be a
likes of our
grudge
gal
there.
Marion Rarick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris,
But I like them all. I love Kendall.
Sure.
I love Gents. Any of them. They're not cockwomble.
Yeah. The election is 2026, Chris, so I'm guessing we're still going to have more people.
Oh,
drop in
God.
before.
My bad. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
So
Yeah, what are we going to do in a year and 2 months? Damn it.
Target is counting on a company veteran to revive its magic as it struggles to compete with rivals like Walmart. Minneapolis-based retailer said this morning Chief Operating Officer Michael Fidelki, who has been with Target for 20 years, will become CEO on February 1st. He succeeds Brian Cornell, who helped re-energize the company when he took the helm in 2014, but has struggled to turn around weak sales in a more competitive retail landscape since the COVID pandemic. He says, Fidelki, he's stepping into the role with 3 urgent priorities: reclaiming the company's merchandising authority, improving the shopping experience by making sure shelves are consistently stocked and stores are clean, and investing in technology at the company's stores and in its supply network. The change in leadership was announced this morning at the same time that Target reported another quarter of sluggish sales.
They're descendants of Dayton's, which had an 8th floor auditorium.
What?
Was that big building downtown?
That's right.
With a couple empty top floors?
That's
Two top
right.
floors?
From the Star Tribune, the Minnesota-based Vaccine Integrity Project followed through yesterday on a promise to provide scientific data on vaccine safety and effectiveness, with the results contradicting President Trump's federal health advisors. The project collected results from 590 studies, pooled them to see what they collectively show about the latest vaccines against COVID-19, influenza, and the respiratory virus RSV. 24 doctors reviewed the results, generally found the vaccines continued to protect 3 key populations: children, pregnant women, and people with diminished immune systems. Dr. Michael Osterholm, director of the University of Minnesota's Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy, says the new data does not indicate the emergence of a signal indicating safety concerns or sudden drop in effectiveness in any of the vaccines. Parking near the state fair is a little different again this year. This seems to happen every year, doesn't it?
Fixing a problem that doesn't exist, but go ahead.
On Tuesday, city crews began putting up green parking signs. The zones cost $25 and are enforced from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. during the fair. Jack Linehan is the Falcon Heights city administrator. He said it's a kind of new trend that's happening. Instead of classic parking meters, it's more of a using your mobile phone to be able to pay for parking. He said this will happen in the North Home and Northeast Quadrant neighborhoods. Fairgoers will have to use the Park mobile app to pay. Linehan said we'll have ambassadors out in the neighborhood helping welcome people, helping direct them where to go, and enforcing parking as well. Falcon Heights resident Erin Pratt said her son is one of those ambassadors. She said, I do worry a little bit about whether people won't have heard about it and will come and be kind of upset, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.
I can't wait for the 80-year-old couple from Blaine pulling up and trying to figure this out.
Oh, my
Wait
God.
a minute. John, is this only on major arterial streets or in the neighborhoods?
Oh, big
In the
word.
neighborhoods. North Home.
So I
Northeast
park in front of
Quadrant.
somebody's house on Access Street.
Height.
Yeah, Height, Nebraska, whatever.
Right.
I got to pay $25.
That's correct, sir.
Well,
Holy.
can the neighbors still park cars on their property? Is that system ended?
That's a good question. I would think so, huh? Don't you think?
I mean, a
How
lot of
can
people
they-
that
lot
get
of
you the
people.
winter vacation.
Right. They're parking cars for 12 days.
Yeah.
You know what the-
Between
Oh, go ahead.
Ashbury, is that a street? And Arlington, 2 cross streets. That neighborhood, really good for parking in yards. Really good.
$25.
You know what the
Yeah.
family of 6 coming down to Forest Lake's going to say when they see that?
Imagine my surprise.
Imagine my surprise.
Oh, well,
I got to pay from parking on
Indy
my phone.
500 parking in yards is around $40, Joe.
I don't care.
This ain't the Indy 500.
Oh, you know the best way to do it is to go to Hubbard Broadcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jump on our shuttle.
Yeah.
See if we can sneak
Tom
on
will
our
love
shuttle.
that you said that.
How spoiled
No,
are we?
actually, I don't have a Courtyard by Marriott today, do I, Chris?
You do not.
But the parking lot, the business center right next to Courtyard by Marriott in Roseville, has a shuttle bus. I don't know why anybody wouldn't take a shuttle bus.
Right.
It's the easiest thing in the whole world.
Super
And you
convenient.
can feel superior to all these poor slobs in the car.
Bye.
We sit up there
Bye.
in the bus, we look down on you, and we mock you, and we make fun of you.
Look at that idiot trying to take a left
And
over
they,
there.
they do it from churches. There's always a shuttle system.
All over the Twin Cities. Yeah.
In fact, if you do come to the Hubbard Broadcasting parking lot, ask for Tom.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Hey, is Tom around?
Thank God you got that gate system now.
We're in, I think, oh my God.
We've all been revoked from the bus.
Troubled? I don't know.
Tom, you'll note I haven't said a word.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
probably won't even be
sympathizing
able
with
to-
your problem.
He's a shuttle sycophant.
Yeah. I talked to one of the guests we're going to have a week from this Friday, and he was curious if he should take the shuttle. I said, by all means,
yes.
please, please
you
take
don't
the
Well, let's
shuttle.
promote that. We will be having Jeff.
We're not promoting the shuttle
No, we will be having Jeff
Calm
Dayton
down.
on the show on Friday. And
this Friday.
I spoke to Jeff on the phone yesterday. In
He's
addition
coming to
Mr.
town
Heidt.
just to do us.
He is coming to town just to do the State Fair show. He also has a gig that he booked for Sunday that he will promote.
Well, he's no dumb. He's going to pick up some dough.
But that's super cool. Jeff's the man. That was really cool to hear.
We could only pay him $25,000.
Right, hey, we get you a free shuttle ride.
You
only
are.
pay you
I need to have a talk
$25,000.
with someone, I think.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a quick break here and hear from the mayor himself?
Well, what were you talking about? The fair?
We were talking about
You
the
talking
fair.
about the pup?
Are you going to have a pup on Friday?
Pronto Pup, baby. It's the official food on a stick in Garage Logic. It is the Minnesota State Fair's original food on a stick. Hell, everything's on a stick now. You can get a pork chop on a stick, but it'll cost you a home mortgage to get one. Why don't you get the Pronto Pup?
Right.
It's it's from 1947. Think of that.
Wiener done on a bun?
That's by the Carnes family, and Greg and Wayne Carnes, two great GLers, have 8 great locations throughout the fairgrounds. It's a hell of a deal. The State Fair isn't complete until you have that Pronto Pup. Make sure you support Pronto Pups this year. It's the official food on a stick in Garage Logic, and there's history. There's history every time you gnaw on one, because it dates back to 1947. How many years is that? 70.
That's enough.
78. Yeah. 78 years of the Pronto Pup. Let's see something else that's lasted that long at the fair. All right? Huh?
Yeah, what do you got?
78 years ain't what it used to be.
Wiener done in the bun. Pronto Pup.
Deaf Podcast continues.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
GL quiz time. Who can tell me what a check valve is? Go ahead. Anybody?
Check valve is a valve that makes sure that something doesn't get so overcompressed it blows up.
Joe?
It has something to do with carburation.
Matthew is the closest. It releases pressure one way. That's one of the cool things about customroasting.net. And they're in there.
Wait.
Go ahead.
He got that?
What's
I know.
the sound of one
I
hand
know.
patting himself on the back?
You know what? I think he's a homeowner. He learned something accidentally working on the home. You got to put a check valve in there, buddy.
I've never said that in my life, but okay.
And
Tell me
that's
about
what they-
coffee.
Yeah, well, that's what they do with customroasting.net and their bags. They have a one-way valve because after roasting the coffee, and I didn't know this until I hooked up with these guys, coffee releases a gas, and that valve allows those gases to escape. That means the coffee inside is sealed. Another thing about this bag that's really, really impressive, it's got the most sturdy, stout Ziploc I have ever seen, so your coffee will stay fresh on the shelf. They are the official supplier of fresh fine coffee to GL and the Krabby Coffee Shop. Get to that website, customroasting.net, and you'll see how the proprietor Stephen roasts these beans. It's really cool. We've got our own sample package that you can order. You'll see the GL tab. It's right there in front of you. French Roast, Boundary Waters Blend, the Morning Blend, and the Columbia Excelsior. I've had them all. Each one is wonderful, but of course French Roast is my go-to. It's the freshest roasted coffee you can get. They only roast coffee that they have orders for. That means nothing sits around on the shelf. It's a fantastic cup of coffee at a reasonable price customroasting.net.
John, before you begin, let me interrupt you, please. Rookie, what's the status of Marjorie for our phone call tomorrow?
Marjorie, according to Steve, will be on right at noon tomorrow.
We have her number?
Yes, and
Thank you.
Will be with. He will be with. She will be with her daughter, Marlene. So
At
we're
home,
good.
you mean?
Yeah, she'll be calling from home. So
All right,
we're
very
fine.
good.
We're
Here's-
set.
Do you know if is she planning on going out to the fair?
That I don't know.
Oh,
Well, we'll
okay.
find
I
out.
guess we can ask
find
her
out
tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, Johnny.
Thanks, Joe. In international news, President Trump offering assurances yesterday that U.S. troops would not be sent to help defend Ukraine against Russia after the possibility was left open the day before. The president said in a morning TV interview, Ukraine's hopes of joining NATO and regaining the Crimean Peninsula from Russia are, in his words, impossible. The Republican president, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, and other European leaders held hours of talks at the White House on Monday aimed at bringing an end to Russia's war against Ukraine. The president said after his meeting in Alaska last week with Russian President Vladimir Putin that Putin was open to the idea of security guarantees for Ukraine, but asked yesterday on Fox News channels Fox and Friends what assurances he could provide going forward and beyond his term that American troops would not be part of defending Ukraine. He said, well, you have my assurance, and I'm the president. The idea of Russia gaining large portions of territory has also been a non-starter with Ukrainian President Zelensky and other European leaders. Justice Department has now launched an investigation into those allegations that Washington, D.C. police have falsified data to artificially lower crime rates. The announcement comes a week after President Trump deployed over 800 National Guard troops to combat crime in D.C. Police data finds violent crime is down 27% since last year, with homicides down 11%. The president has questioned those findings, citing the suspension of Police Commander Michael Pulliam, who's accused of manipulating crime data. The head of the D.C. Police Union also maintains crimes are being deliberately undercounted or logged as lesser offenses. Mayor Muriel Bowser says anomalies in the data appear to be limited only to Pulliam's district. A news release from the DEA earlier this week talked about what it called a bold bilateral initiative with the Mexican government to crack down on cartels that smuggle drugs across the southern border. But yesterday, a day after the DEA's announcement, the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, opened her daily news conference by saying she had no idea what U.S. officials were talking about. She said, I want to clarify something. There is no agreement with the DEA. The DEA issues the statement, and we don't know what it's based on. We haven't reached any agreement. The DEA did say in a statement Tuesday afternoon then that its initiative is being conducted in coordination with Mexican law enforcement counterparts. Mosquitoes typically prefer more tropical, humid conditions, but now they're exploding in numbers in someplace unusual, Las Vegas. Recent years, because of a host of changes, a mix of urban development, warmer temperatures in recent years. The average temp in Vegas has gone up almost 2 degrees since the 70s. Insecticide resistance and genetic adaptations are creating a more hospitable environment for the insects in southern Nevada. Las Vegas not alone in the battle against mosquitoes. It's happening in the desert Southwest and beyond. The mosquitoes have brought with them not only the nuisance of bug bites, but also the major threat of mosquito-borne diseases like dengue fever.
Oh,
Major
Well, I
or
don't know if
regular?
it can be major in Vegas. Here and elsewhere, it's major.
I have yet to swat a mosquito this year.
I had a couple.
Are you
That's because all the Minnesotans brought them down to Las Vegas.
I haven't experienced a mosquito.
Do you go outside in the evening at all? I'm just
We
curious.
must not
with
have
Joe.
any
Yeah. I'm with
mosquitoes
you.
in this state if you haven't
I
swatted
haven't
them.
spotted one.
I don't even know why there's a problem. I haven't seen one.
And by the way, I just looked it up, Johnny. Insecticide resistance is opening up for Space Monkey Mafia here in
Oh,
Minneapolis.
good. Okay, good. That'll be a great concert.
Another story about, kids and old fellas don't do drugs. This one from Florida. A 79-year-old Homosassa man's persistent calls to law enforcement resulted in his conviction and a 5-year prison sentence for drug possession.
Mom, hi.
A Citrus County jury deliberated for just 20 minutes before finding George Seeley Crandall III guilty of possession of methamphetamine and possession of paraphernalia. How did all this happen? Well, it all started back in November 2024 when the Citrus County Sheriff's Office received multiple calls from Crandall He claimed that there were 7 people, 2 dogs, and a cat inside his mobile home taking possession at the Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park.
Oh.
Deputies responded twice, but obviously found nobody inside the residence.
Oh, they just left.
Crandall was advised to secure his doors, but he called again an hour later, this time requesting a supervisor. So Captain Samuel Carey responded to the third call. While speaking with Crandall, the captain noted his rapid, irrational speech, which seemed inconsistent with dementia, but consistent with drug influence. As the captain conducted a walkthrough, Crandall pointed to a curtain, claiming it was a man's shirt. He also told the captain if he waited, he could arrest the people as they walked through the walls. During the walkthrough, Captain Carey spotted a small red bag containing a white, rock-like substance on the bedroom floor. Crandall tried to pick it up and hide the bag before the captain saw it, but was ordered to hand it over. Inside the room, deputies also collected 2 plastic straws with residue. A field test confirmed it was methamphetamine. Crandall has a prior felony criminal history, so he now has been sentenced as of Monday to 5 years in state prison.
Did he say because on account? You want to know why?
79. Isn't that a little old to be,
Still in the game.
I
Good
think so.
for him, but the
I think so.
wrong choice.
That actually should be a ray of hope for drug abusers everywhere.
That he's
That
alive.
you can make it to 79.
Yeah.
And Swiss watchmaker Swatch apologizing this week for an ad campaign that upset consumers in China and elsewhere. They said they have immediately removed all related materials to the ads worldwide. In an image from the Swatch Essentials collection, an Asian male model is shown pulling the edges of his eyelids upward and backwards with his fingers, a gesture seen as usually derogatory and racist.
Oh, I see.
You know the
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
The image triggered criticism on social media in China, with major influencers weighing in. Swatch wrote on Instagram that, quote, "We sincerely apologize for any distress or misunderstanding this may have caused." It said it would treat the matter with the utmost importance. China is a major market for luxury brands and watchmakers. The founders of Dolce & Gabbana apologized on video in 2018 after Chinese boycotted its products over what were seen as culturally insensitive videos promoting a runway show in Shanghai. Swiss watch exporters are now facing new tariffs in the U.S. and a prolonged slowdown with significant declines in the U.S., Japan, and Hong Kong, according to industry association figures.
Did we mention that we talked about it when Lee Anderson won Concours d'Elegance for Pebble Beach in 2022, I think. He just won again. He won the concourse again, twice in 3 years.
Wow.
He won it this year for a Hispano Suiza boat tail. It's made out of wood and it's aluminum riveted, and it took the whole deal.
It just flows.
He's right here in Brainerd.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Say on our YouTube chat, just so we know, I know we're talking probably too late for this year's State Fair on a T-shirt, but Castle Circle's got a great T-shirt idea. GL, so good you don't even have to hear it.
So we're not being heard on YouTube.
Just on YouTube, and the people
But Chris will
understand
solve that,
But
won't
the
he?
chat is just flying left and right.
And
It's
have
pretty
you
funny.
noticed the video, too?
No.
It's very herky-jerky. It's
It
been
keeps
keeping me entertained
freezing.
for the
is
last
it?
45 minutes.
Well,
yeah.
why don't we?
We are the only. In fact, Joe, I believe, as of this moment, we are the only podcast in America. Joe, there's a lot of podcasts out there.
Oh, there's
we are the,
740,000.
we are the
number.
only podcast in America that can operate a video channel with no audio.
That's true.
Not many people can do that.
And they still are here. I mean, there's still quite a few.
You know what I'd do? I'd pretend and make my own audio up. So if Joe talks, I'd say something very Joe-like. and
Like
then-
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or look at the camera and say, vacuum.
What matters to business is a nice working environment. You'll find that in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. In addition to a business-friendly tax environment with no personal or corporate state income taxes, Sioux Falls is growing. It's centrally located. The workforce is well-educated. The cost of living is low. The industrial parks are developed. Thus, so is the cost, your cost of doing business. Contact the Sioux Falls Development Foundation They're going to hook you up with the tools and the resources to stop searching. You don't have to search any longer. This is the perfect business site. You can start growing in Sioux Falls. Empower calls it the #1 most affordable city. Forbes magazine, the #1 best small city for business and careers. It's 300,000 people. Is that small? That's bigger than St. Paul.
Big, yeah.
South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country.
You got her.
And the place to take advantage of those incentives is Sioux Falls. Low business costs, high quality of life, no state, corporate, or personal income tax. Let me add,
Take it to the house.
no inheritance tax. No limits to what your business can achieve. Doesn't really sound like Minnesota, does it?
No. Business to business.
Contact SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
Yeah.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts
Just
of
trying to
life.
keep the show going,
Joe
Kenny. I have to
Souchere.
look at the material here.
Oh,
That's
Kenny.
your job, sir.
That's right.
You know what? We are nuts. Oh, one day away, by the way, Joe. Hey, how about
Hey,
this?
that Mr. Nuts hiding from me. He's got a lot of cars I want to look at.
Well, you did kind of go
You were too
Reavers
eager.
/ Gary Loris on him on the Hubbard Mimi the other week. So
Chris, can I ask you a question?
please do, John.
I bought a thing of toffee peanuts of theirs on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
And they were all gone by Tuesday night. Is that bad?
No, that just means you need to buy more the next time you go to.
So good.
So you got the original toffee peanuts,
The
Johnny?
original toffee peanuts, yes.
Did you go with the vanilla ice cream and toffee peanuts like I
No,
suggested?
I ate them all plain. I just threw them in my hand and kept shoveling them in my mouth.
No,
And
it's
you
like-
guys make fun of me for eating salmon in the pickup truck.
That's a little
You're
different.
just as bad.
Your hands aren't as sticky when you eat those delicious We Are Nuts peanuts.
Well, John, where did you go? Did you go to Fratelloni's or where did you pick them
No,
up?
we have them here at my local county market.
Oh,
And I picked
fantastic.
them up there. Yep.
Because that was what I was going to
What do
suggest.
you shop at a roadside stand up there?
It's a grocery store. It's a chain. Where you been?
Oh.
You ever go
Co-op,
out? You
Joe.
ever leave your house, Joe?
No.
Joe pictures you buying stuff out of a guy's truck on
Right.
Main Street.
You got a guy that comes to your house and sells meat?
So anyway, you can find them at Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores, Lunds and Byerly's, Fresh Time, Hy-Vee, or your local favorite brewery or golf course. You know what? You can even get them on a Sun Country Airlines flight right now.
Get them
with
at the
We Are Nuts.
hardware store.
Max Hardware carries them now, and here's
Fratelloni's?
yep, I mentioned that.
Did you?
I did.
How about that?
And you know what? Go into your local retailer and say, "Hey, where are
Hey.
the nuts at?
Where are you nuts?
We are nuts at your local retailer." But this is really cool because tomorrow they are also going to be out at the Minnesota State Fair. They're over by the Blue Barn.
Blue Barn. Yep.
Area.
Yeah, they got their own display.
I got to go over there on Friday and try out the dill pickle nuts again because you guys bogarted them
Yeah,
all and I
those
didn't get a
don't
chance
last
to.
long. So,
Does We Are Nuts got a booth at the fair?
yes.
Like I just said,
in the old.
right next to the Blue Barn.
Oh. Hello.
Anyway, if you're not able to either make it to the fair, any one of those locations like I mentioned, Joe didn't hear any of them, but you can go to wearenutsmn.com and place your
Are
order
they at
today.
Fratelloni's and do they have a booth?
Hey, did they have a website,
Holy
Chris?
balls, wearenutsmn.com.
We're going to get them. You can get them.
You can get them.
You can get them. They got nuts everywhere. You got them.
Quit naming nuts.
I used to be able to name every nut.
nut.
Cashew nut.
Oh my gosh.
Pecan nut. Say,
Holland pepper. You stop naming nuts.
stop naming nuts. Driving me crazy. It was on this day. Then it only comes to us because of
Can we ask the same question Kenny did about 8 minutes ago?
Are you still with us, Joe?
only
It's the timing. It threw way off.
only. I'm a creature of habit.
I was going to say, usually on the course by now.
Oh, I'm not playing.
Somebody on the chat.
I'll stay.
how
I'll
long
stay as long as you want.
Somebody on the chat. How long is this show going to go today?
Yeah.
And they can't even hear it.
And they want
Yes, and they want it to end.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And what's most amazing is they're still watching.
There's 50.
They're hate
40,
watching it,
49
Joe.
now. There was went to 49.
hate watching it.
Hate watching.
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga Province, South Africa, from our friend the Traveling Lymans. And I really feel like promoting that website so you can see where they are. WorldwideWaftage.com.
We should know this. Does somebody do that for them? Because their website is actually very, very cool.
Well, they probably work at it.
They got time?
As opposed to, on this day.
Joe, today is August 20th.
Well, it was on this day in 1892. On St. Paul's east side, a 5-story building collapsed into Swede Hollow. The structure, home to 12 stores and 25 families, had been built on a landfill. Luckily, the tenants managed to evacuate the building before it slid into the hollow. Now, that hollow was eliminated in 1956. So, on this day,
August 20th.
On this day,
See the key word there?
in 1904, a tornado with 110 miles per hour winds blew down the High Bridge in St. Paul.
Woo!
Killed 14 people in the Twin Cities and Stillwater. I thought only bad storms were now. But how about this one? On this day...
Did they have roundabouts back then?
Nope. On this day...
Aug 20.
In 1928, a tornado struck Austin, Minnesota. It killed 5 people. Now, back in those days, 1904 and 1928, you did not have the...
no Dopplers.
You didn't have the radars and the
Alert
warning
systems.
and the sirens and the whole deal. But what kind of... What... Oh, wait a minute now.
Hold up.
We blew down the High Bridge in 1904. Then they must have built... Well, obviously, to build another one. Was that the one then demolished in the 80s to build the current one?
I would bet.
Help me with that. Is that?
I
is
would
that,
bet 100%.
Thank
yes.
you. I knew
my
you'd-
research says yes.
All right.
That's the one.
Because we
knocked her down
Yeah,
to build
yeah.
that nice one.
So
Didn't
thank
they
you.
just work on it recently, too? This year,
Oh,
last
that was,
year?
what, the 80s, wasn't
No, a
it?
couple years ago.
Late 80s?
Before you wrap up, a question about Swede Hollow, because I've never been. You said...
I've toured it. I've walked it. I've been exploring it.
you said... You made some reference to it's gone, but you meant people no longer live there,
That's
correct?
true. The hollow
Can you
itself
see,
is a hollow.
Are there remnants of buildings and
Boy,
signs saying this is where this was? And
No, not as much as there should be, but there are some brick and some concrete rubble left that you can still tell.
is there any bare-ass parts of Swede Hollow where you could shun the clothing and just hang out and get a nice all-over tan?
No.
Is that where you...
But there's a very good marked walking trail through Swede Hollow.
Where did you steal the magic sand?
That was off Shepherd Road.
That's right.
Yeah. Just stop right, put my blinkers on.
Isn't there a lot of crime over there in that part of St. Paul? Lower East Side?
Not any more than anywhere else in the metro.
Weather radar was initially invented as a byproduct of military radar, Joe, developed during World War II.
I'm aware of that.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Right, and that preceded our boy leaving Cuyuna in a space capsule.
Right.
Anybody else have any non sequiturs to throw in, John? Rookie?
No airport
He's
news.
fresh out.
Yeah, we're... I did a little research, so now I'm good.
Well, GLers,
Anything you want to say to the YouTubers?
yeah, thanks for hanging in there.
Hey,
I don't know why you did.
Thanks for hate watching us today. We appreciate it.
Tomorrow's the first day of the fair, but we'll be in here. Yes, but that won't stop us from talking to Marjorie.
The fair starts tomorrow right here on Garage Logic.
Yeah, and then Friday we'll be there. Yes. Thank you very much.
In what form? Not sure yet.
I have sound on my YouTube. Hear it?
Anywho, thank you, John.
Do I?
Do us a favor and hit subscribe. I mean, you can today, I guess, on the Garage Logic YouTube channel, where normally, yes, you can watch the show and hear us each and every single day. A little technical issues today, but we're going to get that remedied for tomorrow's podcast with Marjorie Johnson. You can also follow us along on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today on the website, which is, of course, garagelogic.com.